And we're back, and we're going to be coming in pretty hot to a new series today here, Raz. Series 2 of the day, TOP versus OMG. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be real spicy, especially that top lane.
Yeah, Young Devils across the map. You're right about the top lane. Ale versus 369. Two of the top laners right now in the league coming in fresh. Rookie season from both of these players. Ale, we've heard for so long that he's been being picked apart by like which team's gonna get him, have the hands on him. I thought he was gonna be in the LPL, maybe from let's say Vici Gaming perhaps, who've been trying to pick up a few top laners, but no, that didn't happen. He is now playing for OMG as their main top laner, and that's gonna be sick to watch this specific series that you see in the pick ban.
Yep, Ale not the only emphasis there for his team. OMG also has Icon, of course, the upstart rookie, replaced Cool, and we're discovering something a little bit weird here with the bans.
So I would say immediately just going into what the focus for both of these compositions are going to be going for. Jace in the top lane, and you're seeing a Renekton being answered towards here from 369 on TOP. So top lane pressure is definitely going to be name of the game. I really want to see XX go top lane. He actually has a really high jungle proximity towards it, so you should be seeing just like lights flaring. If it doesn't work out, then no, OMG still has a Rakan Galio composition. So like that in and of itself can just give you the green light to go bottom lane. I'm just worried that if you pick a Jace for top lane matchup and if it gets turned against you, that's disastrous. So I do expect early pressure to be there for a TOP.
And especially for a team fighting, Jace sometimes has a little bit of difficulty. If he's behind, you can't really poke out before the team fight. You don't get those engages without getting immediately blown up. So that Jace, definitely a contentious pick. But one I'm excited to see, and if I trust anyone to execute on it well, it's going to be Ale.
Yeah, Ale is such an amazing player. Remember in the previous series, we got to see the Fiora coming hot. If you were watching any of the OMG's games in the past, you would have seen Ale go wild on his Fiora. Now has another carry option in the game number 1.
Coming in, like you said, Raz, to game number 1, TOP versus OMG. This one is going to be held in the Chengdu Arena.
Oh,
but
wait a minute!
We already got action. Chelly, no!
Well, that's unfortunate. You see the audience members trying to get ready for their chants, just like, all right, doing vocal warm-ups, and then that happens. I would not be surprised if the OMG fans were like, you know what, we're strapping ourselves in, no chance, we're just ready to watch.
I don't blame them. That was really, really bad there. Chelly gonna get picked off. 1 death already.
So in terms of summoners, no summoners burned here from OMG, so Chelly kind of just accepted his death there, but a flash down, both summoners there for Ben. That's a little bit important. He still has Hex Splash, so he can still make plays outside the bush, so that's why he would need some lane pressure. So here we go. Wow, they saw Chelly pretty early with Loken's pressure, and they were just probably did it over the wall. I wonder if Ben, yeah, right here. Just get in there, Bob. Yeah. So apparently Knight had to use his E. He leveled up his E early on, so I wonder how his early lane. He should probably lose level 2 based off that, but it's well worth it if you get the level 1.
So if anyone says to you, OMG's bot lane is their weaker side, I'm not going to say that this is proof, but I am going to say it's something you can look at, Raz.
Look, that's cheesy, all right? No one expects Knight to rank up E first, and you don't expect the Alistar to come in hot like that. So I'm not going to give it to him just because of that, but I would agree with the point that in 2018, the weaker points have consistently been the bottom lane since losing SMLZ, quite honestly. If we're just talking about holistically, since losing SMLZ, they've been throwing in as many AD carries as they can, and Chelly has been the one that's stuck. And I think to begin this split, he's done well, especially with the Yasuo game. That was an exceptional performance from him. He's going to have to do something here. I think I'm wondering where did that who got the first kill? So who got first blood off that? Get out of here, Colonel.
We don't care. You're not even telling us anything. 51 to 49.
It's not informative. So it's going to be the AD carry that picks it up. Sad days. Loken coming into this one with a long sword.
That's rough. But he's still getting shoved in, so I feel like OMG's bot lane is doing something right.
It's just going to be a matter of time. Remember, once he levels up to level 3 right now, he's just level 2 Lucian, getting pushed in because of the what he used early on. Chelly, 5, Kai'Sa Rakan, pretty poor matchup. Alistar should be pretty decent into the Rakan on a lot of instances. If Rakan engages, and there's a counter engage from Ben, and Loken will follow up that with it pretty easily. And the damage isn't there currently with Chelly. Thankfully, he has a summoner spell, so he can play this matchup defensively. But in just terms of the 2v2, then Loken and Ben should win out the skirmishes.
Not to mention that flash going to be coming up in a little
Ouch.
bit as well. Oh, 369.
He's feeling it.
He's getting the worst end of this top lane matchup, we could say.
So the Renekton pick, I wonder if it was a counter pick, because if you're counter picking it, then you're really, really expecting XX to come topside, because that's good gank setup. You just come in, slice and dice, W, and then you have the Olaf run on down, then yeah, Ale, that just turns completely against the pick. But at the moment, XX is not even playing towards topside.
He's just hunting down, trying to find best 16. He will do so, but like you said, not keeping pressure in the top lane and allowing Ale to sort of have his way with the lane. And what's nice for him is that he has the Corrupting Potion and the Biscuits as well, so he's going to keep the sustain in the lane against Renekton.
Yeah, I wonder if I think this is just going to be for the one push here. He has the Biscuits that he used, and I think he just, no, he still has one Corrupting Potion. There we go. Just used it right now. So he's good for 1 or 2 more waves before he ends up basing. Because he knows that right now 369 is already used his teleport, so he has a teleport advantage, but you still want to use your TP to at least keep up in lane.
Right, because now 369 is just like, okay, you can't go anywhere. I'm fine with not being able to go anywhere either. Just call it a handshake, call it a truce, because honestly, Jace TP ganks, I'm not so sure of their efficacy comparatively.
Yeah, but I just mean in terms of like he wants to be able to TP right back in with an item advantage. Right now, Ale could very easily just come back in with like a double longsword, right? So if that's the case, then 369 is back where he was initially in the laning phase, where he's just getting poked consistently. So he's going to base now. Big waves coming into his lane.
Icon not having a good time in this mid lane right now, but he's keeping even, and looks like TOP might be able to sneak away this first Infernal.
All right, there we go. I mean, Best 16 has been pretty much gearing for this mid lane gank for a little bit and had been in the top side for some time. So that was a really nice sneak. Olaf can do that whenever he wants.
Going to pick up the Warrior on his first back. He has the Predator, so he can look for a gank now. Best 16 just going to try and counter jungle. Looking for the mid gank, like you said, but Knight is playing incredibly carefully, incredibly well. So I don't think he's going to be able to find it.
Right now, the big winners of, I'd say, first 5 minutes. Sure, TOP got the first blood, but I'm liking the early lanes that we have here from OMG. Ale was able to come back into the lane with a Duskblade now, and still has so much sustain from his Corrupting Potions and Biscuits that he should be able to come into this lane pretty confidently. Should have a pretty large CS lead based off of how this matchup should work. And I expect Best 16 to still remain in the top side to at least have the wards. You can see how many wards that are currently in top lane to protect Ale from a gank. Really, that's all I'm worrying about. If he gets ganked, then that's concerning. I guess he's just been losing some of the trades that we've been not seeing on camera. What's happening here, Ale?
Tell us, bud. We're here for you. Does just have the serrated Dirk, and Renekton has incredibly high base damages, so it's conceivable that Ale just got dove in his own wave. But
oh, wow.
This is a big roam from OMG if they follow through.
Yeah, Chelly doing a great job in holding the wave bottom lane. Ben is responding, though, so this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a good opportunity for a counter gank, but you see Rakan already moving right back to the mid lane.
Not going to be able to get anything from that as a result. Now, 5 is still only level 4. So he's losing a lot from this unless he can get a successful gank here onto Knight. No dice.
I mean, 5 was just trying to look for something cheeky. Probably clear up some wards topside or look for a top lane dive that, you know, Best 16 was in position for, but didn't happen. Ben, very heads up play to look to match that. Oh my goodness, come on. I'm loving what Ben's doing right now.
A little bit of miscommunication, it looks like, between Ben and XX on where the blast plant goes. Oh no, Ale getting dove onto. He doesn't have the damage to defend against this. The E should help him for now. Flash is traded, and Ale has to back.
So close to get the kill on towards Ale. That's how hard this matchup gets played in, with no jungle interaction there. Get those small moments where 369 can all in. Slice and dice, W, he was close, he even flashed for the Xer Q, but not enough damage to follow up. Here we go, though, bottom lane.
5 looking for the engage, not able to find it. Getting chunked down pretty heavily. Culling will defend Ben a little bit and push off the gank for now from OMG.
Yeah, Loken's going to be fine. He has full mana HP, and he's much stronger in the matchup now that he has Oh, wait a second. Best 16 literally just U-turned it. What? Because if I'm Loken, you pretty much want to look for a skirmish once your Bilgewater Cutlass is back off cooldown. So it's going to be a little bit wild. I wonder if Best 16 literally just stays until 5 looks for the next engage. He has Flash, so 5 is probably just going to all in on it.
Ben using the control ward in the near brush. Best 16 deciding to start the back.
Here we go.
Oh. What? He just... Okay.
It's okay. He saw a ghost.
All right.
Best 16 wanted none of that.
Well, I'm not happy about that and how that worked out, but I am happy about XX's build. You know what that means.
Oh,
Forbidden
no.
Idol.
Yeah, well, it's a redemption, boys. We saw that with we literally saw that in the LCK. Griffin picked it up, Tarzan in particular. I really want to see, because it's a pretty cheap item, so having that really early on could put you in a really tough position if you're OMG to go up against it. Puts you in a great position to group up as well. So for TOP, I wonder how you, I mean, for OMG, I wonder how you push back on that.
Well, and this probably won't happen, Raz, but I've said something like this about Zoe before and been wrong many a time. But you could even get the double redemption in a single fight, which is a lot of damage, a lot of healing, a lot of problems for OMG.
Yeah, the healing factor is just nonsensical. So that's something I'm not looking forward to.
Ollie getting the push here onto 369. Best 16 looking for a gank once again. Hoping to have more success here on the top side.
Nice visual bug, buddy.
That was okay. We have the explanation now, but Ale is going to have a death soon. 369 not going to go down, and now Best 16 getting chased out. XX going for the flash, gets the slow, and there's Best 16 taken out. 1-0-1 on both the top laner and jungler of TOP.
Clean counter gank from XX. There was a lot of confusion. That's why I remained silent, because you just never know these days, and it's actually just sad to watch. But he was waiting in silence. I mean, the fact that 369 had been able to just take so much of that pressure, still had ultimates, obviously had a longer time to work with, and XX just taking advantage of that. So now Ali is in such a poor position going up against armor boots and 2 HP crystals right now if you're 369.
A lot of defense there. And Ala just has the tabbies and the serrated Dirk, so it's going to be an even harder matchup going forward.
All right, no visual bug. Best 16 still sitting in that bush. So he goes all in simply because he knows that the Olaf is running firm. So Ollie was already chunked down. That's an easy kill. The fact that they couldn't have a response kill onto 369, mostly because he had Triumph too. So even if Beck 16 comes right back in, that's not going to happen. This is a hard lane now for Ollie because Best 16 can continuously work around that. And I think that OMG, next play, work alongside your Galio. Galio's been the silent hero so far, just keeping even in the lane, constantly been working with that push. If you can get Galio outside and look for a dive on either bot lane or top lane, I think top lane would work.
You're probably going to need that assistance now as the redemption finishes on XX.
Oh, no.
It's happening, Raz.
Oh, boy.
Didn't think we'd see it in our neck of the woods, but you can't stop great ideas, I guess. I rip on it, but redemption is actually like a cool rush for Olaf.
It really forces the tempo. If you look at what right now OMG, Best 16 has, he has a Warriors completed. He has damage for himself in longer fights, but this makes it so now TOP can actually reliably play around either a group on mid or bottom lane and can open that one pretty quickly. So I think it is, you're right, it's a smart rush, and I wonder if they can actually get something pushed right now, because right now Knight has been also silent within his lane, has a lot of damage ready for himself. He's been pushing this lane for some time, and he can actually rotate towards the bottom lane.
Ala still playing aggressive into this lane despite his deficit. Not giving up. He's up in CS, but he's had some terrible luck here with ganks, but 5 wants to change that for him. Best 16 around as well, as is Chelly.
But the poke isn't turning into anything. That's the concern. In the past, the auto attack and shock blast combination was putting him to about like 50% HP. But right now, because he already has the armor boots and has some HP in his name that he's moving towards the Black Cleaver, he's being able to absorb a lot of this while at the same time his bottom lane is actually picking up a lot of resources.
Speaking of resources, that's the first turret down. All the turret plating going over to Loken. Now XX and Best 16 fighting over the Herald, but it's going to be a little bit more than just them in a second here. Redemption could come in handy. Best 16, I don't know if that was the engage you wanted. Hero's entrance comes in, gets a few knocks up, but it's not going to be enough. OMG takes down XX, but they lose Best 16 in the process. Both junglers down. And that's all the fight will be.
I think OMG made the best of that situation. You know, XX was fairly damn low. He had his redemption popped, but they popped him before his redemption actually activated. So it helped everyone else, but by the time they had received it, OMG had already dipped out of the fight. So still worked out well for TOP overall, and now they have a mid lane tower to thank for it.
Which will be their second tower of the game, and Loken absolutely massive at this point. Granted, just one kill, but look at that CS differential, nearly 40 up. He took that bot lane tower by himself and got in on the gold on the mid lane tower. He's sitting pretty.
Yeah, 14 minutes into the game, the fact that we have two of the laners in TOP farming perfectly, it's actually made it so we have a 500 gold bounty on Knight when he only has a single assist. This is how much of an advantage TOP has and the CS advantage that Knight now has. So it's kind of unfortunate that his life means that much now. But it already just goes to show how quick they are and how close, quite honestly, that Knight's moved into his first item. So I would say a few more waves and he's going to be able to get his Ludens.
We've seen what can happen earlier today, Raz, when Zoe gets her Ludens and is unchallenged in the mid lane. This could look real bad for OMG real fast.
Yeah, especially with outer turret down. This is what we're looking for. I mean, it's not going to happen now, clearing out the wave, but that's going to be followed up on the next fights, especially with how TOP has been controlling vision.
There'll be constant pressure in the mid lane. OMG has to respond, but for now, it's just going to be the Rift Herald attempt here by TOP, and OMG just backing.
Yeah, this should be an easy one, and I would place this one topside. Once again, it's easier to use your Rift Herald on top. I'd probably use it immediately. They're in such a good position right now, especially with Knight consistently pushing out mid lane. You might find a pick here. Ooh, close.
It feels a little bit like OMG are lost since Ala doesn't have a huge lead in the top lane, because pretty much every game we've seen before this season from them has been Ala gets big, everyone else just sort of is there around him, Ala wins the game for them. This time their biggest leader is Icon, and that's not something they're unfamiliar with as a team, but it doesn't seem like they're able to do much with it at the moment.
Yeah, because he's on Galio and it's a double threat. This one does rely on your team to be a little bit more coordinated. I would say, to give them more credit, in the past they were fairly coordinated. When Ala was getting picked off on the side, they were already having the control around Barons or Dragons to actually make something out of it. So that's something that I loved about OMG. It wasn't just the fact that they had strong players, but they actually had the right mindset what to do when someone gets picked off on side lanes. That wasn't the case before. So that being said, your point's correct. Ala is behind. Icon's on the Galio, and even though he has a lead, like, he needs Best 16 and 5 to shore up a play so he can join it.
Now, Ala just doing what he can. He's still up 20 CS as compared to 369, but definitely behind in gold, definitely behind in map influence, and now Rift Herald being dropped mid by XX.
Oh, wow.
TOP really gunning for this mid lane.
Yeah, the fact this should actually just go down now, especially with, boom, there we go. Don't even need the Alistar take on that tower. But it's crazy how much control you have mid lane, but Best 16 and 5, well, I was just talking about them, they need to get this fight.
They need to get it without getting caught out, but TOP doesn't look like they want to aggress on this. Pick up the Rift Herald and defend their mid tower, but it's already half health.
And honestly, they had too many members anyways. In the previous game, when we saw Yuki actually going off with the Zoe pick, he was alone most of the time. Most of the time he was actually able to get a lot of the shove alone, push out the wave, and it was the rest of the team getting control wards to the other side of the map. This time around, they were actually just focusing on the mid lane. So if the engage from Beck 16 and 5 went off, assuredly they would have lost that fight.
Now XX going to pick up the third dragon of the game at 15 minutes here for TOP. They're just running away with it.
There's really not much you can do about it with how far ahead Zoe is in particular, and how XX has just been playing around with the redemption game. So a large team fight really hard to actually back up. We saw OMG contesting a fight around Rift Herald the last time, and it was just a no-go. That's how they lost that mid lane outer. So OMG are just struggling to wave clear up until a really good item point. For me, it's Icon. If he gets Zhonya's, that's good. That means he can stay in a fight for a little bit longer, make a second play. So there's some outplay potential where you can take down TOP in a fight. I think that's what they're now relying on.
The question is if they'll be able to get it, though. I mean, at the current pace TOP are working, OMG might even be starved out behind a full item before they can get to that point. Currently, 8K gold lead already for TOP. It's only 19 minutes in.
Yeah, and you know that Kai'Sa needs some time. Kai'Sa just needs 2 to 3 items. 2 to actually wave clear and have some speed in her attack speed. 3 so she can team fight well. But the game is going so quickly, and the objectives are not helping. Next Dragon's going to be Infernal, and the Baron is coming up in 30 seconds. That this is going to be a fast game. TOP likes to speed things up, and the objectives are just going all in on the accelerator. So Chelly's not going to have a lot of time to farm. They need to commit to these fights.
And this was your worst fear realized from the draft about the Jace. The Renekton just absolutely ran over it. And now we're seeing the results with some good cross-map plays from TOP. They've taken over the entirety of the game. They're up almost 10K. And they're keeping the accelerator going. Like you said, here's the second tower looking almost dead.
He was so close to healing the cannon wave. Had he had done that, I mean, they're going to get the tower anyways, but then it would have been able to push into the inhibitor tower. They wouldn't have followed it, but it gives them more time. That's the beauty about Redemption. It doesn't just heal you in a fight, it heals a minion wave if you're able to group it up just right. So Olaf is getting a great bang for his buck right now.
TOP getting some vision around Baron. They were pinging onto it, but vision's as far as they want to go for now. 369 potentially looking for a flank into the fight. OMG just stuck on the defense.
They got to be able to break this at some point. Oh no.
That might be that point, Raz.
Oh no.
Yup. Bye, Best 16.
That's their jungler dog. That's a Baron group, my friend. What are you going to do, OMG? I don't think you could take this.
Yeah, they have a pile of Ashe sitting on the ground in mid lane instead of a jungler right now, so this should be a free Baron for TOP. This is just a masterclass in taking a lead and knowing exactly what to do with it here from TOP.
For the past 3 minutes, TOP has been clearing out wards in the blue side jungle. It's taken this long for Icon to join them. Here we go.
Potential for a steal, 1100 health on the Baron. It's anyone's. It goes over to TOP. They do secure it, but now the fight breaks out. 369 is down. XX has to flash out incredibly low. Hero's Entrance comes in. Loken, the next target. He gets out of the pit, and he does so much damage. OMG are getting wiped despite a good engage, and Chelly barely alive, but goodbye, Allah. Goodbye, Chelly. Double kill for Knight.
Gets it, man. Even confirms the triple on top of that one. That is so hard for OMG to come out with a victory. And you know what? It was a little dicey. I like that two-man taunt coming in from Icon to begin with. He made it competitive. It could have been a steal. It wasn't, though. I love the fact that TOP still doubled down on it. Even Loken rejoining the pit. That was a little tough. But they are so confident in their own mechanical skill that they still come in when they are challenged. So take a look at this. Icon came in at 1k HP, and it was anyone's game. But the fact that Loken flashes over the wall, no mana, but he's like, we have this game. I just have to back Ben and Knight just to be that meat shield. He comes in, allows them to finish off the fight.
And TOP already had a lead before this fight, but now they're absolutely crushing the game.
And this is beautiful. Knight just says, I'm a face tank you. You can't do a damn thing about it.
He's 4-0-2. He's 251 CS. It's more than 10 CS a minute.
That is the most fun slide I've ever seen the Colonel give us.
Is that the biggest percent we've seen so far?
Yes. Well, yeah, the biggest one I've seen personally.
Yeah, 92 seems pretty high. I'm not going to disagree either. OMG at this point don't seem capable of turning it around. They'd have to pull off a miracle, but I'm not sure what that looks like right now.
It was looking fairly good until Best got popped, so you just have to be able to play it as patiently and diligently as you can, but at this point in time, you're losing your inhibitors. You have to set the line down. Draw it somewhere. 5 needs to join. Now they're just going to be giving 2 inhibitors away. Where's the fight?
Where's the Allah we know and love? Where's the engage from anyone? They need to do something.
They
There's
got
the
him.
engage. Finally, 5 goes in. They picked off Knight, but can they get anything else? They lose 1 for it, but it's just the support. If OMG get a good re-engage here, they can keep up the fight and they can get the win. But no, Chelly gets taken out by 369. The massive damage coming out of the Renekton, and now Icon is down as well. They'll take out Ben, but it's a 2 versus 3 under the Nexus towers. I don't think they're going to be able to defend this one.
Yeah, just a split-second play from 369 to just demolish Chelly. There's no AD carry to back them, but they don't have the HP bars. Only 369. Some teams are trying to take that fight. Not TOP, though. They're not willing to risk it all.
They know that all they need to do is get into the base one more time. It's literally it, and they will win the game. 1 Nexus tower left, 2 inhibs down. They can go for bottom lane. They can go for their second Infernal. It doesn't matter. This lead is nearly insurmountable for them.
I will give OMG some credit, though, because 5 getting that look on tonight gave them some room for hope. I said it, they had to draw it somewhere. It's a tough call for any team, because if you try and force a fight with 2 inhibitors going down, you lose the fight anyways. But they were able to get CC locked down on top of Knight and take him down. Life for a life. I think Rakan's life is worth a little less. So it would have been a great defense if 369 didn't find that play on top of Chelly. I actually think OMG would be able to completely repel that and keep their mid lane inhibitor alive for a little bit longer. That wasn't the case, though, but at least they can breathe a little bit long.
Still alive for now. Chelly not quite to 2 items yet. Zonia's up on Icon. We saw him use it to decent effect in the last team fight, but still, itemization is going to be the big problem here for OMG. And that's ignoring the 2 open inhibs top.
Yeah, they're just letting the top lane have at it with the super minions. But if you look towards mid, I mean, 369 is doing a good job shepherding the wave. He's going to try and join his team now that the wave is starting to crash in. Remember, if this wave gets cleared out, just like this, it's a long little wait until the next wave. So I wonder what TOP is going to do in the meanwhile.
Just going to keep the pressure on the tower from the looks of it. Rotating around, helping those lanes shove in, because eventually someone has to respond to it.
Yeah, absolute catastrophe in the base right now. The wave's about to crash, so this would be the time for TOP to go all in.
369 clearing out the waves from top and mid. Ton of poke coming down from Knight. Best 16 forced to ult. Now he's out of the fight. Redemption's going down from XX, and that's going to be the bot lane tower. Bot lane inhibitors soon to follow, and then the Nexus tower.
Mid lane inhibitors coming in too, so yeah, Nexus under threat. OMG, do something.
They need to make another play. 5 needs to get another engage. He has the flash, he has the knock-up, he has the ult.
It's all on 5. Oh no, I mean, you gotta go now.
He's going for it. He gets the knock-up only onto 1, though, and it looks like TOP are going to take the better side of the engage. Icon able to get the taunt, but there goes the Nexus, and TOP take game 1 over OMG.
Feels bad if you're OMG. A slow burn loss at that one. TOP took the more conservative victory. They knew that Knight was way too damn strong and had a firm control of mid lane. So we're like, all right, you know what? Take no risk. We've seen some I-Make games in the past. We've seen games, teams try and test their limits against the Nexus. And they're like, we're not going to have at it. We know that it's a game of just one fight, one Baron, and it turns on a dime. So this time around, TOP didn't want none of that and confirm that first victory.
And this is such stark contrast to the last series when we saw LGD try to pull off strategies like this, where they'd say, okay, we just play a good game, we play for the objectives, we play around them, we play safe. This time, it didn't matter. Look at TOP. They were always in control every single second of the game. There wasn't a chance for OMG to turn it.
I think for the first 8 minutes, I'll say that I really liked what OMG were doing at the time. Best 16 was prioritizing Ale's lane like we said that was going to be the case. It was just a snowball when 369 and XX got the better 2v2. The moment you lose out in the first part of the 2v2, XX is just going to get the reset on his axe, and you lose out on that one. Suddenly you don't have a win condition top lane. Suddenly what is Jace going to really provide for your squad? So it really did fall completely on the wayside for OMG the moment that strategy towards Ale was gone.
Yeah, especially hoping that they can bring that back in the second game, that they can establish a stronger 2v2 when we get back. Game 2 between TOP and OMG. We'll see if OMG can fight back.